Like, this is art now. This is real deal art. These joints is finna skyrocket in value because he's gone. He can't make nothing else. Everything he's made is here. He can't make nothing else. Them boys was interns together. They was getting boys coffees. They was making copies for dudes to this. That's a crazy moment, bro. What it do, man? It's your boy 100 and we back in this. Hey, we back in this, man, and we got the story of Virgil Abloh. You know, that man just passed away here recently. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad situation. It's always sad when somebody passes away, but to me, I look at death kind of differently. You know, I don't really think death is the end. There's just too much evidence of reincarnation. There's just too much evidence of it. Like, kids be telling you stuff from past lives that they shouldn't know. Like, kids will tell you something that only a grandparent would know or a great grandparent would know. Like, how does this 2-year-old know this? Like, they haven't been here. They weren't here when this happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's too much evidence of reincarnation. So I don't really think death is the end. That was the end of that journey. So this was the end of his journey this time. You know what I mean? Maybe he'll come back and have another journey. But rest in peace to that man. You know what I'm saying? This is the story, you know, how he came up from a young warthog to being one of the most important executives at one of the largest, or I think the largest fashion house at Louis Vuitton. Let's tap in. It's a good beats going on.
Virgil Abloh is an artist, architect, and fashion designer who has risen to the absolute heights of fashion and design, literally. Within the span of several years, Abloh went from selling screen-printed Champions gear and Ralph Lauren rugbies with the moniker Pyrex 23.
Hey, was y'all tapped in when he was selling the Pyrex, bro? I used to see them pieces and be like, hey, that's fire, dog. Like, but it's such a simple design. I don't even know why it was so fire. It was so simple. You know what I mean?
Screen printed on them, to becoming the first African-American artistic director at the world's largest fashion house, Louis Vuitton. Virgil's success wasn't necessarily handed to him, although it may seem like that at times. Virgil traveled a long road and knocked down many barriers before he gained commercial success. We wanted to take a closer look at Virgil's entire career and dissect his early inspiration, the different steps he took along his career, and what catapulted him into stardom as a modern-day Renaissance man. Virgil Abloh was born on September 30th, 1980 in Rockford, Illinois, to immigrant parents from Ghana. His mother was a seamstress and his father managed a tea company. While being raised in Rockford, Abloh attended Boylan Catholic High School, which he graduated from in 1998. Growing up, Abloh was heavily inspired by graffiti, soccer, skateboarding, hip-hop music, and his biggest inspiration was Michael Jordan. As a kid, Virgil and his friends would draw concept sneakers for Nike and send them to the company's headquarters in hopes of landing a shoe deal.
Hey, hold on, bro. My boy dipped. Parents had some paper. I see you, bro.
The brand never replied. Who knew what was to come?
I want to say this. I've never owned a pair of Jordans a day in my life. I'm going to just let that be known.
Teenager Abloh began DJing and was known for DJing house parties in high school and college. Abloh attended college at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, receiving his undergraduate in civil engineering in 2002. It was around this time he brought a t-shirt design to a local print shop to be printed. Allegedly, the design was formatted so perfectly that they just needed to hit print. Because of his skills, the store offered him a job on the spot. A few weeks later, Don C., Kanye West's colleague, visited the shop looking for designers, where he met Virgil. Soon after, Don C. would introduce Kanye and Virgil. Abloh would continue his schooling and go on to receive his master's degree in architecture from the Illinois Institute of Technology in 2006. Soon after graduating, Abloh was appointed as Ye's personal creative director. In 2009, Kanye and Virgil interned together at Fendi as the rapper's interest in high fashion was beginning to peak. Surprisingly, Ye and Virgil were treated like any other intern. This meant they worked the typical 9 to 5, got their supervisor's coffee, and even made photocopies. The duo was reportedly only paid $500 a month for their work. Louis Vuitton CEO Michael Berg, who they were interning for, said in an interview for the New York Times, "I was really impressed with how Abloh and West brought a whole new vibe to the studio and were disruptive in the best way." It was around this time in 2009 when Kanye, Virgil, Don C, Taz Arnold, and
Hey, I remember this picture, bro, back in the day, dog. That boy used to have them Tisa hats going. Look at these fits. I don't know, bro. Fashion is so weird. Fashion is just so different. Like, all of these fits, bro, there's only one fit in this picture that I will wear. And it's the most regular looking one. And you know which one it is. That's why I say fashion is just different, dog. Like, but different strokes, different folks. People express themselves differently, you know what I'm saying? Some folks more flamboyant, some folks more conservative.
a few others would break necks at Paris Fashion Week, when the notorious photo of the crew was taken by Tommy Tun outside of the Comme des Garçons show. This was the first fashion week both Virgil and Kanye had attended, and their interest in fashion changed from spectators to competitors within the industry. As Virgil rose to higher notoriety for being associated with Kanye, later in 2009 he and Don C launched a retail store called the RSVP Gallery, located in Chicago. Their founded retail space became widely known for carrying a mixture of trendy fashion apparel and for its appreciation of Virgil's style on his interior design for the store. On January 5th, 2012, Ye announced a new initiative called Donda, named after his late mother. Donda would act as Kanye's creative agency, which served to execute ideas in the fields of design, art, fashion, music, and filmmaking. Virgil was arguably the most prominent member of the agency, and was listed as Donda's creative director. It is rumored that people would often joke Donda was just Virgil's laptop. While at Donda, Virgil was appointed the artistic director of Jay-Z and Kanye's Watch the Throne album, where he and then creative director of Givenchy, Riccardo Tisci, would collaborate, later earning them a Grammy nomination for Best Album Packaging.
Yeah, I remember that album, bro. That cover was tough. That cover was hard, bro. Like, yeah, they snapped.
Virgil went on and finally took the next step, and in 2012 launched his first clothing endeavor, Pyrex Vision. The name was inspired by the Pusha T verse.
Pyrex stirs turned into Cavalli furs. The full-length cat when I wave the kitty purrs.
Starting with Champions Gear hoodies and gym shorts, Abloh screen printed Pyrex and images of Renaissance paintings on these pieces and sold them for hundreds of dollars. Later, Abloh would cop dozens of dead stock Ralph Lauren rugby flannels on wholesale for about $40 and screen printed the graphic Pyrex 23 on the back. The pieces would go on to sell for over $500. The stated goal of Pyrex Vision was to represent the importance of youth culture. By centering the designs around a garment that most youth would recognize from gym class, Virgil's ideas could be clearly geared around the importance of the now, especially having support from friends like A$AP Rocky, Kanye, and placements at multiple retail stores across the globe. He closed the company down about a year later, as he did not intend for it to be a commercial enterprise, but an artistic experiment. However, I'd think several cease and desist letters from companies such as Pyrex and Ralph Lauren may have played a major role in the closure of the brand. Pyrex Vision marked Virgil's first noticeable mark as an independent designer.
Seeing this Pyrex evolve into what Off-White eventually became, like, I even saw in the interview where he said Pyrex was really like an experiment. I'm just trying something out just to see what happens, to see what work, see what don't work. It's like a demo tape, but the real album finna come, you know what I'm saying? In Off-White.
During this time, Ben Trill had been surfacing around the underground fashion scene. A DJ and art collective later turned into a streetwear brand founded by a group of creatives including Abloh, Justin Saunders, Matthew Williams, and Heron Preston. It was here Virgil's DJ alias, Flat White, was spawned and has stuck around ever since. From the super teched out launching of an app to dropping merchandise, collaborating with other brands and artists, Ben Trill has always seemed to be ahead of its time. With its cult-like following on Tumblr, the brand quickly became a relevant name in streetwear culture. But as the brand grew and changed from its vision over time, there were reports that some members of the group just couldn't see eye to eye anymore, which led to the closing of a national distribution deal with PacSun. Finally, the brand was put to rest when A$AP Rocky dissed Ben Trill on his single, Multiply, for reportedly not paying homage to its roots.
I ain't really fucking with that Ben Trill. Swear them niggas booty like tip drill. Nah, I ain't really into throwing shots, but these motherfuckers better give me my props or the pot.
There were reports the next morning after the release of the song that fans were trying to sell Ben Trill related items on multiple Facebook buy, sell, and trade pages. Soon memes surfaced on the web as well.
Hey, that's funny how one artist can be like, nah, I ain't rocking with this no more. And everybody that got it like, what? Oh, me neither. We not rocking with, throw it away. Get rid of it.
It seemed as if the shots were probably thrown at other members of the collective, as Virgil and Rocky were always seen kicking it. In 2013, Virgil launched Off-White, his first serious attempt at breaking into the high fashion industry. When describing what Off-White was to fashion critics and investors, he defined Off-White as the gray area between black and white. Off-White took the fashion industry by storm, and by 2014, the brand launched a women's line as well. In an interview, Virgil described Off-White as the first luxury brand built entirely off social media.
I work on the street, literally, like phone in hand. I feel like Off-White might be one of the truly first sort of like luxury brands that's been just built from social media.
This was possible due to support from influencers who carried their own following, such as Lucas Sabat, Kanye West, A$AP Rocky, and Ian Connor. The unique growth of this brand marked a shift in the fashion industry and thrusted streetwear into the high fashion, luxury category. Virgil's designs brought a new way of thinking into fashion, branding his clothes with the cross pattern typically seen at a work site in quotation marks. Off-White's first noticeable pieces were screen-printed hoodies, tees, varsity jackets, and denim. In 2015, Virgil was the only American finalist for the prestigious LVMH Awards, which recognized young fashion designers for their work. In just a few years, Off-White became one of the premier luxury fashion brands in the world. Through Off-White, Virgil has had a direct impact on pop culture, observed through how often he and his brand are referenced in modern music. The name for Off-White was actually given to Virgil from ASAP 12e, as he recalls here in an interview with Breakfast Club.
How much influence did A$AP Mob have on hip hop, or just the culture? Because I even heard the 12 came up with the name of Virgil's clothing line.
Yeah. I was like, nah, you make the Off-White and the crack in the pot. You know, I said you make the Off-White and the crack in the pot, and then he was like, oh. Then he ran with it, you feel me?
As of today, Off-White is one of the best-selling brands in the industry and has collaborated with brands including Levi's, Montclair, Rimmel, Champion,
and you can get inspiration from anywhere,
Nike.
from anybody.
In 2016, Nike approached Abloh about doing a collab, which involved him redesigning 10 of the best-selling Nike sneakers. 8 different Nikes, 1 pair of Jordans.
When I say, bro, these shoes are about to be worth millions, bro. These is like some Basquiat type. Like, this is art now. This is real deal art. The pieces aren't as limited, so I don't see them going up as far as like a painting would be. Still, these joints is finna skyrocket in value because he's gone. He can't make nothing else. Everything he's made is here. He can't make nothing else. So what you see and what you have is which is all you're gonna get. Scarcity and death increase sales of art every single time.
And 1 pair of Converse. Admittedly,
They
Abloh was
viral.
hesitant to take the job, calling it potential career suicide. But eventually he did under the circumstances that he would not change more than 3% of the shoe. When referring to the shoes, Abloh said, "It's larger than design culture. These 10 shoes have broken barriers in performance and style. To me, they're on the same level as the sculpture of David or the Mona Lisa." This collaboration proved to be extremely successful, launching in the fall of 2017, as each pair resold for thousands of dollars on the aftermarket. Through the 10 collaboration's success, Virgil was in the center stage for the rest of the fashion world to witness. Virgil went on to design exclusive fitness garments for Serena Williams, as well as other Nike x Off-White pieces. This collaboration would continue to break down barriers and open doors for what was next in Virgil's career. With the announcement of Kim Jones leaving Louis Vuitton after its groundbreaking collaboration with Supreme in early 2017, there was speculation of Virgil taking on the position due to his close mentorship with Kim Jones. On March 26, 2018, Virgil uploaded a photo on IG of a vintage Louis Vuitton trunk that caused the fashion world to go crazy. At the same time, Louis Vuitton, the world's largest fashion house, announced that Virgil would be preceding Kim Jones as the creative director for the men's ready-to-wear line. This announcement was historic, as it marked the first time in history that an African American was the creative director for Louis Vuitton. Virgil debuted his first collection in June.
And my boy Kanye like, boy, what? I brought you round me. We built, you know what I'm saying? You like my little bro and you took the job I wanted. But hey, you gotta celebrate him, dog. He snapped, bro. He snapped.
2018, during Paris Fashion Week. The historic show featured artists like Kid Cudi, Playboi Carti, Devin Hines, and Steve Lacy walking the runway. Abloh had his mentor Kanye sitting front row during the show. After they shared an iconic hug that embodied the emotion and struggle of what it took and how many barriers had to be broken for someone like Virgil Abloh to become.
Them boys was interns together. They was getting boys coffees. They was making copies for dudes. To this. That's a crazy moment, bro.
The creative director for Louis Vuitton. Later in an interview, Abloh credited Kanye for him being in the position he was in, saying that Kanye had to crawl so I could run. In an interview with Zane Lowe later that year, Ye revealed that he felt bad. He felt that he was supposed to be appointed to that position. He went on to say, "I was the Louis Vuitton Don. People still call me the Louis Vuitton Don when I'm walking down the street." Kanye continued to comment about Virgil's show, saying, "If I didn't go, then who was I? He ran that touchdown in for all of us. Because there was a time when we were all crazy." Since Virgil has taken over, Louis Vuitton's ready-to-wear collection has dominated the men's high-fashion luxury market. As Virgil was taking over the fashion industry, he would also exercise his interest in contemporary art. In 2018, Abloh collaborated with Japanese artist Takashi Murakami at the Gagosian Gallery and Kaikai Kiki Gallery in Tokyo. More recently, in 2019, Virgil held a solo exhibition titled Figure of Speech at the Chicago Museum of Contemporary Art. This exhibit displays a mid-career.
Hey man, as a creative myself, bro, I love anything artistic, bro. Like, and all of this is just like fire to me, man. Especially like to get to the spaces he was in. Like black people ain't really welcome in these spaces like this, man. You got to be exceptional. Black people are not accepted in all these spaces, bro. You gotta be going crazy.
Analysis of Abloh's conceptualizations in fashion, art, and music. The exhibit was shown in various museums throughout the country and was turned into a book titled Figures of Speech. Despite being heavily influenced by classic bands like Guns N' Roses, Nirvana, and hip-hop, Virgil never really saw himself making music necessarily. But in early 2018, Abloh released his first EP titled Orange with Boys Noise, an experimental record that dove into undiscovered techno and tribal depths. Furthermore, with the success of constantly working on DJing, he's gone from playing high school parties to becoming a household name and began to get booked constantly for shows and festivals like Tomorrowland, Coachella, and Camp Flog Gnaw.
I didn't know that.
He even opened for Travis Scott's Bird Eyes View tour in 2017. As mentioned earlier,
I did
over
not
the
know
years,
that.
Both as part of his position at Donda and personal projects, Virgil has overseen and art-directed many high-profile albums, including Kanye's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Yeezus, Good Music's Cruel Summer, Kid Cudi's Wizard, Big Sean's Finally Famous, A$AP Rocky's Long Live A$AP, Lil Wayne's I Am Not a Human Being 2, and Lil Uzi Vert's Love Is Rage 2, as well as many other albums. In 2013, Virgil co-directed A$AP Rocky's music video for Fashion Killa, which featured Rihanna and cameo scenes from The Mob. Many fans...
Ain't that funny though, bro? Like how like A$AP Rocky and Rihanna was like kind of messing around a little bit back then. I think she was messing around with Travis Scott too for a little while. Like she bounced around a little bit. But it's funny how this video came out in 2013 and now the news just broke that she pregnant with A$AP's baby. So you know what I mean? She circled back. Hey, don't be afraid to circle back on your y'all means. Sometimes you can circle back and create some babies and families.
Of the song have stated that the video is one of the best they've ever seen. Fast forward to 2017, and Virgil's directing Lil Uzi Vert's smash hit EXO Tour Life. In an interview with Fader, Virgil stated that his project with Uzi was his return to directing videos again. Virgil goes on to talk about Uzi saying, "These covers are a prequel to an in-depth creative back and forth using all of our different assets. He believed in me and I believed in him, and it's us doing this crash of things that are in our own head," which has later led to Virgil launching the Off-White International Rap Video Production Studio in March of 2020. The company debuted its first official project, the music video for Pop Smoke and Quavo's collaboration, Shake the Room, directed by Virgil.
I ain't know he
Virgil
did that
has also
either.
had many personal projects removed from his brand, including collaborations with Moet, Evian, IKEA, Baccarat, and Chrome Hearts, just to name a few. I don't think Abloh's legacy and influence on fashion will be fully appreciated and understood for years to come. It's not very often a single man can change an entire industry, but that is exactly what Virgil has done. Abloh's appointment to Louis Vuitton exhibits how the world of high fashion takes streetwear seriously now. This can be seen as the dawn of a new era in fashion. Although Virgil's works far exceed fashion and extend into design, contemporary art, and music. Most importantly, Virgil has used his platform to engage and uplift other designers and young creatives, like Samuel Ross, Aaron Preston, Lucas Sabat, Ev Bravado, and Bloody Osiris, just to name a few. Virgil has made it clear that he intends to show other young, aspiring creatives that the door is open to design fashion beyond the runway. Virgil's career plays out like a story in which hard work, perseverance, and originality can break down any barrier. Who knows what's next in Virgil's career? But one thing is for certain, and that is Virgil will go down in fashion history as one of the most important designers of our time.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Virgil, bro. Like he did so much that I wasn't even aware of, bro. He did so much, dog. And his pieces is fire. Like Off-White is fire. All the OG Pyrex pieces was fire. That man was a real, true creative. And to be a creative is one of the hardest things to do. To be able to have nothing and turn that nothing into something. That's like a superpower, bro. You can turn nothing into something and people love what you made. That's a superpower, dog. I love being creative myself. If you haven't noticed, if you ain't never checked the description under any of these videos, in every video I drop my clothing line. I have my own clothing line that I make. And I drew the designs and I made every piece, and you know what I'm saying? So to see it on the extreme level is inspiring, you know what I'm saying? Anything artistic is amazing to me, dog. So shout out to Virgil, man. That was a very creative, a very innovative, and a very unique mind. But like I said, you know, I feel like this was just the end of his journey this time, but I think he'll get another crack at it. But anyway, man, you know what I'm saying? Leave a like on this video, man. If you like the video, man, leave a like for Virgil, dog. Leave a comment for Virgil. Just say something positive. Did Virgil influence you in any way? Did you like any of his pieces? Were you even tapped in with Virgil? But yeah, man, RIP that man, dog, and I'll see y'all in the next one.